god, this is fucking horror stories. These are horror stories. They need to make movies. What is up, Blaze Squad? I was just sitting here recording videos and I just read a comment on something that got my attention. I recently talked about the nursery rhyme thing and kind of got a little triggered by it because these stories that I realized I was raised up on, some of them are kind of fucked up. So this is a Creeps play a creepypasta. I guess a creepypasta things. I'm not too sure. It's top 10 fairy tale dark origins. The original story. Then Disney took it and turned it into what Disney turned it into, which didn't turn it into anything better in my brain because it's still. I never was into the Disney princesses at all. That lifestyle was not, the whole Mary Prince to get out of a fucked up situation type thing. It wasn't, that's not really how I think you should live your life. Even though some people do that. I mean, they have a shitty situation and they're willing to do whatever they can to get out that situation. But we're not going to go into that deep, dark, depressing state. You wanted to hear my thoughts on it, so. And I'm actually intrigued to hear some of these. Life is not always about happily ever after. And don't think that life is perfect and relationships are perfect because they're not. They're hard work. And you have to be selfless. The selfishness you may have and let it go for another person. So if you're not willing to do that, then relationships are not for you. But anyway, I'm not here to tell you how to run a relationship. I'm here to watch the top 10 fairy tale dark origins from QueenBlaze. So this might be interesting. Let's sit back and chill and I'll give you guys my 2 cents on each one I hear. Oh, okay. Starting off creepypastas. Yeah, creepypastas.
Throughout the years, many fairy tales that we tell today have changed drastically since their first tellings. But what
Everything
not
changes.
many people know is how dark the original tales were. Here are 10 of the most disturbing dark origins of today's fairy tales.
Ooh.
Number
Little
10.
Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid. In the original tale, the prince falls in love with another princess instead of the Little Mermaid, and she turns to sea foam. But the reason for this is because he doesn't realise that the Little Mermaid is the woman who saved him from his shipwreck. She gives up her voice to get human legs in order to have him fall in love and marry her, but when he announces and finally meets his bride-to-be, he thinks she's the one who saves him from his near-death moment, and is completely in love with her. This breaks the mermaid's heart. In attempts to save their sister, the mermaid's sisters cut off all their hair and gave it to the sea witch in return for a magic knife. The Little Mermaid needed to kill the prince and have his blood drip onto her feet so she could grow back her tail night and swing back into the ocean.
Wow.
She did not, however, and thus turned to sea foam.
Okay. Alright. The story of Little Mermaid itself, the Disney version, which they remade it. Have y'all seen the remake? Little Mermaid wants to take her ass back into the sea and marry the sea man. I haven't seen it yet. I heard so much about it. I don't want to see it. But anyway, she sees a man on the sea, and by looks, she's in love with him. It's always love at first sight. Let's not get it twisted. There always got to be some form of attraction to somebody. If you're not attracted to that person, you will not talk to that person. There is always attraction first. You never sit there and say, "Ooh, I like your personality." You don't know their personality. So when somebody say, "I like them because of their personality," yeah, that's part of it. But there is a form of attraction there. That's just human nature. We got this thing where we find you attractive first, and then we got to figure out if you're crazy or not. Some of these fairy tales aren't what real life is. It's fairy tales. It's called fairy tales. It's not real. It's nice to imagine sometimes. It's nice to have dreams and hopes and wishes and all that stuff, of course. But we gotta be able to see the true meaning of what some of the shit is compared to what you want it to be. Her story was sad. That story was depressing. But at the end of the day, she didn't even want to kill the prince. She loved the prince so much that she was willing to die for the man. So that's crazy. That's goddamn sad. All right, next story.
Number 9. Cinderella.
Oh, God.
In the original
the worst
story
of
of Cinderella,
the worst.
her
I
two
hate it.
stepsisters are desperate to be the prince's bride. But the glass slipper that Cinderella leaves at the ball is made only to fit Cinderella's foot. So, when the prince arrives at the house, the elder stepsister's big toe will not fit, and her mother hands her a knife to cut off the big toe,
Oh.
telling her that when she is queen, there will be no need to go anywhere on foot. When the prince takes her away, he realizes there's blood gushing from her foot, and returns, and it's the second sister's turn, and
Wow.
she can get her toes in, but not her heel. So the mother, once again, gives her a
Oh,
knife
the
and
mother
tells her to
tripping.
cut it off, saying the same as before. He is tricked once more, only to return the sister again. Finally, Cinderella is brought out from the kitchen and is fitted with her golden shoe and is taken away.
That sounds like the old Kardashian family shit. Mom, oh man. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, people live their life the way they live their life. But you know, I have some issues when it comes to exploiting the kids out there like that. Pushing them to do things just so they can bring you back some money. Mama took that shit to a whole nother fucking level, man. Oh, no, you ain't gonna need your toe. Don't worry about that shit. You ain't gonna need to be walking no way anyway. Oh no, I'm gonna cut the fuck off your heel. I'm gonna cut your heel off. Like, god damn, mama. Just imagine if they turn these shits into horror stories. Yo, that would be dope. I would watch some Disney, like some of these fairy tale shit. If they turn that shit into some scary horror shit, oh, that would be awesome.
Number 8. Snow White.
Living
Looking glass
with
on
8
the
men,
wall.
7 men.
Who in the land is the fairest of all? In the classic Snow White,
Straight hating.
the evil queen is essentially Snow White's stepmother, and she doesn't want to kill Snow White until the looking glass tells her that she is no longer the fairest in all the land. So, after the huntsman fails to kill Snow White and the looking glass tells her that Snow is hiding out with 7 dwarfs, the evil queen tricks Snow into nearly killing herself 3 times. The first was by lacing her bodice too tightly. The second was by combing her hair with a poisoned brush. And finally, the third one is with the poisoned apple. Each time, dwarves have to find her to save her from her near death, except for the last one. That is when Prince Charming comes out of the woods and asks to take her beautiful casket made out of glass and wood, because he had fallen in love with her dead body.
That is
Not
creepy.
even joking on that one. No true love kiss, but his people drop the casket, dislodging the piece of apple stuck in Snow White's throat, and she comes back to life to marry the prince. In the end, the evil queen goes to the marriage and is forced to wear iron shoes that were placed in the fire and dance until she died.
What kind of oh my god, this is fucking horror stories. These are horror stories. They need to make movies. Okay, I'm sorry. First, the original, the Disney version, of course, sounds a little bit more better. But the fact that the prince fell in love with the dead body, so how is he going to feel when she started talking? Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, the guy fell in love with the fucking dead, well, what he thought was the dead body. That's why he took her back to the fucking castle. But the story of Snow White, the crazy lady who just kept getting older, could not accept the fact that she was getting older. She was no longer cute anymore. So she had to kill the girl who was the prettiest. Now, yeah, that's a little extreme. That story right there without the original origin version. Jesus. That story's all around fucked up.
Number 7. Rapunzel.
Rapunzel,
In one
Rapunzel. Let
rendition
them
of
that
the
golden
classic
weave.
tale of the long-haired girl, she's not a princess.
Okay.
A child of 2 people who longed and longed to have a child but could not. These people lived next door to an enchantress. And this enchantress's garden was this rampion, which is a type of vegetable that Rapunzel gets her name from. Her father steals the root from the enchantress's garden for his wife because she so desperately wanted it. The enchantress was angry to find this out, and in the end told them that she would take their first child as payment for the vegetable. Up the tower is where Rapunzel lived when her prince found her and would visit her frequently. They fell in love, but Rapunzel didn't know how to get down, so they made a plan to make a silk rope. Rapunzel let it slip that the prince weighed less than the enchantress, so she cut off Rapunzel's long braids and sent her away to the desert. When the prince came up with a ladder, he found the enchantress, and before she could do anything to him, he jumped from the tower. He managed to survive but was blinded because he landed in thorns. He wandered into the same desert where Rapunzel was and found that she had twins. When Rapunzel cried into his eyes, he was able to see once more, and they were able to travel back to his kingdom with the two kids.
Wait, what? Whoa, hold on. Wait, what? When she got sent off to the desert, she was pregnant. Was he oh, okay. Wait, what? Why did he? Hold the fuck up. So he was visiting her, and they was doing the do? She got in trouble, and she got kicked out into the desert, and she had the babies out in the desert, and the prince wandered off into the desert and found... The story just doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. I'm sorry.
Sleeping Beauty.
Lord.
In the older tale of Sleeping Beauty, the princess is set to have her finger pricked by a spindle and die on her 15th birthday, all because Maleficent didn't get an invite to the party.
Wow!
But what you might not have known was that the prince didn't just kiss her awake. Instead, he fell so helplessly in love with her comatose body that he then decided to have his way with her.
Motherfucker, you raping this bitch while she... Did you get consent?
And that in turn caused her to become pregnant with, again, twins. They must have loved the idea of
Man,
twins
these princes are some nasty ass motherfuckers.
This, of course, is while she's still asleep, and it's not until one of the babies, while looking for a breast for milk, sucks on her finger, awakens the princess, dislodging the piece of flax fibre that she had pricked her finger.
What? What? Oh my god. Wait a minute. So she got pregnant, she grew a baby in her stomach, and the baby's delivered on their own, and the baby was searching for a nip, and she figured... What? The fucker had his way with a dead body and got that girl pregnant. Well, she wasn't dead, so... oh my god. And oh my god. The girl was she was in a coma pretty much, and you fell in love with her. How these princes are... Man, these princes...
Three Little Pigs. In this well-known classic, the three little pigs build their houses out of various materials: straw, stick, and brick. We all know that it ends up with the brick house that stands up to the big bad wolf's "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow the house down" line. And in the classic story, we know he opts for going down the chimney and burns his butt and runs out of the doors and is never to be seen again. But in the original story, the final pig decides that's not going to be enough.
He gonna eat the wolf?
When the wolf decides to come down the chimney, he has a pot of boiling water waiting for him.
Oh well.
And once the wolf is inside of it, he shuts the lid and cooks the wolf. Once dead, they all eat him.
Well, they were gonna get eaten.
Number 2, the Pied
Piper.
My,
have the tables turned.
In the original tale of the Pied Piper, there was a village overrun with rats. A man arrives dressed in the clothes of a pied and offers to rid the town of the vermin. The villagers agree to pay a vast sum of money if the Pied Piper can do so, and he does. He plays music on his pipe which draws out all the rats, and when he returns for the payment, the villagers won't cough up, so the Pied Piper decides to rid the town of children as well. In most modern variants, the Pied Piper draws the children to a cave where the townsfolk finally agree to pay up. Then he sends them back.
Wow.
In the
at least he sends them
original,
back.
however, the Pied Piper leads the children to a river where they all drown, except for a lame boy who couldn't keep up. Number 1.
Ooh, that shit giving me chills. This is some creepy ass shit for real.
The original tale is titled Little Broomstick. In the original story, Belle has 2 older, spoiled sisters and a father whom is a merchant. On one of his trips, he asks his daughters what they would like from his trip. The older siblings asked for a necklace and earrings, while Belle simply asked for nothing. But as her father insists, she asks for 3 roses on a single stem. On his journey, the father finds the first 2 gifts easily, but ends up in a large garden and finds the roses. Upon taking them, he runs into the hideous beast. He begs for the beast to let him go, for he was only getting the roses for his daughter. The beast lets the fathers go on the condition that he allows the merchant father to give up his daughter as his wife in a few months' time. Time comes, and Belle ends up being taken to the castle as the Beast's companion. They don't really talk much, but they do sleep together. First, it is only side by side, then slowly he leaves her a kiss, until she can no longer sleep without him by her side. When she sees that he looks as if he is dead in the courtyard, and she weeps over his lifeless body, he returns to his normal self. His father had a sorceress transform him into a hideous beast when he would not marry someone he did not love, and the only way to break the curse was to have someone love him as an ugly beast. The story, however, does not end here, for Belle wants to bring her sisters and father to come live with her after she marries the beast turned prince. But the sisters, being completely jealous of her, drown her in a bathtub. And in another plot twist, the same sorceress brings Belle back to life and tells her the only way to punish the sisters properly is to turn them into stone columns, and if a man can ever fall in love with them, then they will return back to normal.
Damn! Wow, yo. Thank you for the suggestion. Those are some horror stories. I can just say this, I would love to see those things turn into horror movies, because those storylines are some crazy shit. Greed has ran all of those stories. Envy, greed, jealousy, hate, all of them. Well, that was trying to teach kids lessons? That was the Scared Straight program? What the hell? I did not know I was going to find this so fascinating. Like, I saw they got a top 10 nursery rhyme. I might end up checking that one out. You guys let me know if y'all want to see that. But Blaze Squad, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.